It is Sunday, the 14th of July, and Northern Territory, Queensland. This is your weather update for the week ahead. We are looking at Sunday through to Sunday at the rainfall totals here, and you can see there is a bit of rain coming your way. This develops a little bit later in the week from about Wednesday onwards as a rain band that breaks off from a cutoff low down the south comes up and inland. There's also a little bit of rain up in the northern coastal region, concentrated around Cairns. So let's have a look at this. First off, we're going to start with the wind weather warnings. There is a marine wind warning on Monday for all of the north coast of Queensland. This seems to fall off on Tuesday. And that is because what we'll see when we look at the wind is that there are strong trade winds coming through consistently across the start of the week into Queensland. Let's go and have a look at our rain. The week starts off dry for all of Northern Territory, all of Queensland, except for this little concentrated area that's being driven by those trade winds. So when I'm talking right now, we're just going to be talking about pretty much most of the actual continental mass of these two states, and just know that it is raining pretty much the whole time in this little region. So Monday, we are dry. Tuesday, we are dry. Wednesday, we are dry as well. It is a little bit down the south of the Northern Territory that rain band starts to creep in. And I'll just go down south just to show you what's happening. This is that cutoff low and the rain band associated with it. And on Thursday, that breaks away and starts to come into the Northern Territory primarily, but it stays to the southern half of the NT. Okay, let's zoom back in. So that's going to deliver anywhere between really 0 to 10 mils depending on where it lands for you. And this will also go into the very sort of southwestern corner of Queensland. On Friday, it comes across and strengthens, delivering 15 to 25 mils in sort of the heart of that rain band. If you're around it, you'll see anywhere between 2 and 10 mils as well. This extends into the south, into the Goondiwindi region for Saturday, where it comes and, there's still rain up into the northern central areas of Queensland and up into the top of Darwin, but it does definitely strengthen down the bottom there, ready for Sunday when it sort of dries out all over the NT again and that rain band starts to move across. Looking at winds now, we can see this strong gusts, 40 to 63 kilometers, coming from those consistent sort of southeasterly trade winds. They stick around for Monday while all of NT in Queensland stays really quite stable. Into Tuesday, it's just being a bit slow today. Yep, still hanging around. This is when you start to see a little bit of penetration of some slightly stronger winds from that band. But for most of it, we stay nice and calm through both of these regions for the week. This is going to be quite slow, but that's essentially the headline, is that winds are relatively stable for most of the week. We're going to jump around now and have a look at some specific forecasts. So we're going to start out with Cairns. Okay, so Cairns up here, because it's the part that has a different rain system to the rest of the states. And what we can see with Cairns is that at the start of the week, we're seeing 6 mils, 2 mils, 6 mils, 1.2 mils, and that's just as that moisture gets wicked from the ocean over the coast there. What we want to look at though as well is that there are some moderate winds as well, which are reducing spray conditions. As they drop off, we increase the fog risk because we've got moisture there, but then we have still wind that's driving fog. Great. So that's what's happening in Cairns. Start of the week, it's rainy. End of the week, still and foggy. We're going to go now to Lawn Hill, which is in this sort of region, which could be receiving anywhere between sort of 10 and 25 mils of rain over the week. What I want to show you is that these start Monday through Thursday, we are dry, we are stable, not much is happening. There's good spraying conditions for most of the time during the start of the week. And then Friday arrives anywhere between zero point 0.5 and 7 mils of rain, Saturday between 0.3 and 4 mils of rain. Let's quickly jump to our pro version to see the spread in the models. So we've got the Canadian model here showing most of our rainfall. I think there's like pretty decent agreements across all the models that there'll be some rainfall in this region, but there is a fair bit of spread actually what will fall. And that's a lot about the placement of that band and how the system develops. Because here we're looking at a Friday forecast that's 6 days away in model land, really. That's where the confidence sort of spreads. We know that that rain is coming. It's just where that band drops it. All right. Finally, we're going to finish up looking at the Gundawindi region. Now, that's really the last region that's going to get this rain band across, and that's why you can see it is dry all the way until Saturday. And Saturday, we're going to receive 2 to 10 mils. Sunday, 0 to 21 mils. That's a big discrepancy. Makes sense. It's quite far away. I want to jump to it in here. Let's turn on our pro version again. Okay, cool. This is what I really want to look and show you. We have multiple models on the Saturday showing that rainfall, but then on the Sunday, this is where we're getting the discrepancy. The US model is throwing out consistent rain across the day, which is going to add up to that total of about 21 mils, whereas something like the Australian model is not showing any rainfall. And that's not saying that the models are wrong. It's saying, firstly, that system is quite far away. But if we go back and look at, this is our rainfall band on the Sunday, and Gundawindi is, right sort of in here. It could be in the center of where that rain falls, or if this band moves slightly quicker, it could receive nothing. So that's what it's not that we don't know that that rain is coming. It's just about the speed and the movement of that band in itself. So if you're quite keen for this rainfall to come, watch as the forecast progresses to see how this actually acts and develops. All right, back to the Gundawindi forecast. So, nice and light throughout the start of the week, good spray conditions across the start of the week. As that rain drops on the weekend, that's also when those winds still. So we've got a lot of moisture, not a lot of wind. So we are going to have a high fog risk for the Saturday and the Sunday with really quite poor spraying conditions coming up ahead. Okay, so, and I suppose just as a recap for the very north of NT, light showers, still conditions, that's sort of what's happening up in the north of the Northern Territory, but not much. It's not getting that rainfall band coming up into it. Okay, so let me summarize again. On about Thursday, a rain band system comes into the southern parts of the Northern Territory and the southwest of Queensland that then develops across Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it should hopefully end up in this Gundawindi region on the Sunday. The winds that are bringing coastal warnings to the north are going to drop on the Wednesday, maybe the Thursday. That will also bring light wind conditions across the two states and increase fog risk for the rest of the week. That is our weekly update. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.